Welcome to Ruger FAQs. We've had a lot of great feedback on the Ruger SR-556 piston-driven rifle. Great reliability and good accuracy. But we have had some questions, and we'd like to share those answers with you. Another question that's come up is how do we address the issue of carrier tilt, which is common with many piston-driven rifles. The answer to that question is in the fundamentals of how our gun is made. We start off with our two-stage piston. So the initial gas impingement is on the small diameter of the piston. As the piston moves back the depth of that small diameter, it unshrouds the larger diameter and puts a greater amount of force on the piston. That provides a very smooth power stroke to the carrier and reduces the amount of energy that is transferred to the carrier and then to the buffer. So that alone will reduce some of the effects of carrier tilt. Another one of the features of the SR-556 that addresses both carrier tilt and overall functionality is the multi-stage gas regulator. With many piston guns, the gun has to run hot, putting a lot of energy into the system in order to run weak-powered ammunition. With our system, we have 3 different gas port settings, so the operator only has to meter in as much gas as is needed to run the gun and no more. So one of the rules we have is you run the gun at no higher a gas setting than is needed. So between the two-stage piston giving a soft power stroke to the carrier and the multi-stage regulator making sure that no more gas than what is needed to run the gun is delivered, we take away a lot of the initial force that drives the carrier into the upper receiver or the buffer. Now the carrier has an enlarged rear diameter that reduces the amount of distance up and down that the carrier will move that could cause some wear inside either the upper or the buffer tube. We've also removed these portions of the rails. So rather than this portion of the carrier riding inside the upper receiver, carrier rides more in the upper and in the buffer tube on these 2 surfaces. So any potential wear that could come from carrier tilt is transferred from the upper receiver into the buffer tube. The wear inside this buffer tube is typical of what you might see. The finish wears off, although it really hasn't changed dimensionally. There's no ridge of metal there. Time to be concerned is if the wear continues or the tip of this pin starts to wear and starts to rub on the underside of the carrier here.